one ad somewhere, makes 6 grand a month in trucking. Oh, that was beautiful.
We've all seen those. We've
Yeah,
all seen
that
those.
was very, very nice.
Yeah.
That ad attracted me,
Yeah.
and then I started thinking, what do I need to do the trucking? Then I learned I have to go to the trucking school and get the license and do something like that. So how much it costs? Around $2,500. I didn't have money at that time. Yeah, so I had only $600-700 in my bank. So I literally worked very hard for 3 months to save that $2,500, and I saved that and found a trucking school. Went there. So I literally learned maybe 10 to 12 days and went for the driving test. So I failed.
That's not long enough. That's
yeah,
why.
that's not enough. I failed, and then I tried again after 1 month, and that time also I failed. And I have a kind of feeling that those instructors or truck training school owners, they made me fail because they talked to the examiner.
Yeah.
And he's not yet good, so fail him, something like that. That is what I felt then. However, on the third time, I worked hard and I passed.
Yeah.
So that is how I got the license. And after I passed it, within a week, I went to Winnipeg.
Wow.
Yeah, Winnipeg.
You went right from that to Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, and with another 3 months old driver. So he taught me quite a number of things, and that was really fascinating. It was beautiful for me. Was traveling was a lot of fun. So I went there and learned a lot of things. I drove in the winter.
Yeah.
And
Winnipeg is winter in the summertime. Never mind.
Anyway. So I drove there and came back, and it was nice.
Yeah.
But most interesting thing happened, when I got my first check.
Yeah.
My first check for that 1 week driving, I got around 1,200 something.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money for me.
Yeah.
A lot of 1,200. Oh, then I realized that there is money. There is money, so I should do that.
And that was as a company driver, right?
As a company driver. I drove with a team, so we were paid, I think, 42 cents per mile or something like that.
Yeah.
Your book, I read that drive per mile, something, so it was beautiful. But I came across your book later on only, and that book, both of those books were like Bible to me.
Right.
I always had those 2 books in my truck.
Right.
And whenever I do have time in the truck stop, you have a lot of time when you go out.
Yeah.
And I just open that book and read what, I did not understand a lot of things because I was just a beginner.
Right.
So, but that book, I read twice, thrice, many, many times. But anyway, so I understood that there is a lot of money, and so I kept on doing that with that guy for about 2-3 months.
Okay, so you're running team with a guy, or you're training with a guy?
No, as a team.
Okay.
And that time, it doesn't exist. 5 years ago, it doesn't exist that you are a student driver or something like. Because we both are paid same. He's senior, but he used to feel I'm senior. I teach you all these things. But still, we are both paid same, and I am very glad that he taught me a few things, which was very useful. And but for me, it was a lot of fun going to Tim Hortons, going to truck stop, and going to different places. It was so beautiful, so nice. And at the same time, I was having money and going away from city. It was really good. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So you started out there, and then when did you buy your truck? When did you go from company driver to owner operator?
Yeah.
Did you run team that whole time? Or?
Yeah. No, I started working with him, and sometimes things didn't work. Because sleeping doesn't work. Whenever he stops, I don't like to come out, doesn't work. Maybe we have to go to washroom, a lot of things problem. Then it took me almost 6 months to realize that I want to drive alone, solo. So I don't want to drive with anybody. I just want to do whatever I want. So after 6 months, I bought a truck. actually bought the truck without knowing anything and bought the truck without any single money down. So
all you had was my book. All you had was my book.
yeah, your book was fantastic. So your book helped me quite a lot.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Good. So then you bought your so now how long have you been an owner operator? What, about 3 years?
Over 3 years. Over 3 years. So I had a kind of a break in between time to time
Yeah.
because I just want to have a break. Yeah, I don't want to keep on, like what do you call that? Work like a horse, or I don't know, just run. No, I don't like to do that. So I used to take some 2 months, 3 months break all the time.
Okay.
So make money sometime and have a break and see what is going on around.
And
So
your carrier was okay with that, with you taking that much time off? Because
Yeah, yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of times, when carriers hire owner operators, they're bringing a truck on. So when
Yeah.
that person goes off, unless
Yeah.
they supply it with another driver,
yeah,
then that truck is down too, which
Yeah.
is taken away from their fleet.
yeah,
Right?
that's right. But I never gave any trouble to the carrier. So what I used to do is I take off 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I work with them for 3-4 months and we take 2-3 weeks off, and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
So and then again continue again. So the only problem is that they want to know when do I come back.
Yes.
Yeah. So
When do we have our truck back?
yeah. So that's all they want to know, and I do a kind of decent job. So
Okay, so let me ask you something, because a lot
Yeah.
of guys get roped into this where they're taking time off. They think, because I'm an owner operator, I can take whenever, which is true. You can
Yeah.
kind of take whenever, but the company needs to rely on you,
Yeah.
right? So how much notice did you give them before you took time off? Did you just phone up, say, I'm not coming in next week?
No,
or-
no.
How does that work?
No. That is disappointing for the company, because we should not be doing like that, because company has to plan, and especially the dispatcher.
Yeah.
So dispatcher has to know how many drivers and how many trucks are available for
Yeah.
his different loads to plan.
Right.
So it is a must for all the owner operators and drivers, before he or she takes the leave. At least I would say 2 weeks, in advance.
Yep.
He should notify his dispatcher that I have this kind of program for for
So
1
you're
week.
taking time off regularly, but you're letting them know well ahead of time.
Oh,
so they
yeah,
can
yeah.
schedule loads or what
Yeah.
have you, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
proper way to do it, for sure.
That's the way to, and they're happy about that, because they know, and they also know when you're coming back. So they would even call you 2 days before
Yeah.
your schedule coming back. So I'm gonna schedule your trip after 2 days. Is that okay? So I'm already ready that day. So it goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful. No problem.
That's the way.
Yeah,
That's the way
yeah.
it should be done. I was
Yeah.
because I want people to hear that, because so many people just phone and say, I'm not coming in. And then, especially from India, a lot of people go back to India, and rightly so. It's a long flight and everything.
Yeah.
You're not going to come back in a
Yeah.
week, right? So they go for a long time, but
Yeah.
at the same time, that causes more problems with
Yeah.
the industry, right?
But Bruce, I think it's the age factor also, perhaps, because those they are new drivers and young blood, so they have different kind of attitude. They do not understand what is this planning trip like, or what goes through this. Dispatcher for him to schedule the loads and all this. He doesn't care. He just knows that perhaps he wants to spend more time with his girlfriend or newly married wife or whatever. So these young people are but little bit experienced people do something like I do, because in advance and everything works out. Yeah.
So what made you want to become an owner operator? What was what did you see was the best part of being an owner operator? Was it just being able to take time off when you want, or was it having more money, or what did you? What was your attraction to becoming an owner operator?
Yeah. So Bruce, in as you know, in trucking there is different level. So you start as a kind of student driver and company driver, And if you don't like to stay at that level all the time, and you don't have freedom. So the more level you go up, you have more freedom and better lifestyle and all these things, opportunities. So when I decided to go as a owner operator, I only saw money. Money is the main factor because there is twice the amount. If you are making $6,000, you can make 12 grand easily. So as a owner operator, so that's the only thing I thought as a owner operator. But when I became owner operator, the scenario is a little bit different. As a owner operator, if you work for a company, they don't give you too much pressure also. They speak to you in a different language, with different respect. But when you are a company driver, they treat you as a kind of robot or run like a hearse. But when you are a owner operator, they don't do that. They don't pressurize you. They even ask you, where do you want to go next? Next time.
They just want you to go anywhere. That's for sure, right?
So that is beautiful. The way they treat you with respect. That was very nice.
Okay, so that's the benefit. So what was the worst part about being an owner operator, if there is a worst
part? Worst part is there is some worst part. Worst part is that when you have your own truck, you have to make sure that you can pay on time, and you have all these monthly payments, and you have to take care of your truck as a baby. But I would suggest, I have gone through a lot of hard time. I became a owner operator without knowing what truck is. So I learned a lot of things hard way, and I spent a lot of money, which is not necessary to spend. Right now I know. But I would suggest new owner operators, before you become a owner operator, try to understand the minimum mechanics of the trucking, so some small things. So you have, the truck will stop on the road, on the highway, in the middle of the road, on the shoulder. So what do you do, at that time? Or something will rupture inside, the gasket or whatever will rupture there. So what would you do there? Or your coolant will burst. So all the coolant will be down there. So what do you do? I had not seen anything of like that before. So I don't even know how to change the oil, things like that. And I started like that, and I spent lot of money and a lot of very hard time. I had a very, very hard time. But still, the nice part of that is, even though I had to spend that much kind of money, perhaps I was lucky that I did not had to go through this money problem. Yeah, I could manage that. But